welcome to the Red Dice Diaries, and today I wanted to make a quick video just asking you what 3 things you look for in a role-playing system. What 3 things really make you sit up and take notice or really sort of take a system to your heart. And obviously I'm going to talk about the 3 things I like as well. So for me, the first thing would be, number 1, character generation is straightforward and doesn't require lots of charts or reading through massive lists of powers and abilities. Now for me, when I start to play a game, obviously character creation is very important, since that's the fictional persona, the role you're going to be adopting during the game. However, I like a system that's efficiently deals with that, since when I'm creating a character, although character creation is enjoyable, I really want a system that enables me to create the character I'm envisioning in my mind quickly and then let me get on with the fun bit of the game, which is playing the game. That's the bit I really want to dive into. I don't want to be stuck for 2-3 hours just churning through endless charts trying to create the character that I envision, and I don't think it's necessary. There are numerous systems out there where you don't have to read through tedious lists of slight variant powers in order to create your characters, so I entirely don't think it's necessary. Number 2 on my list would be an interesting setting or settings. Now, not all systems have settings with them. Some are setting neutral, I suppose you could say, but I do like a system that has a compelling setting in it. For instance, take Numenera by Monty Cook Publishing. I enjoy the mechanics in that system. I think they're very serviceable. However, the thing that really grabbed me when I first read the book was this interesting background of the Ninth World, this strange anachronistic sort of fantasy world, but set in an unimaginably distant future with this strange technology, these Numenera, these ciphers that people find that are almost impossible for the layperson at that point to distinguish from magic. And that setting really hooked me and pulled me in. So that's something I really look for in a game. Now, if it's a setting neutral game, I'll often look around to see if there have been any campaign settings released for it. I mean, take things like D&D, that technically was system neutral, although I believe Greyhawk was the official sort of default setting, but that had numerous campaigns brought out, from the slightly more weird and wacky Planescape down to and Dark Sun down to things like Forgotten Realms. And I think that having a really interesting setting there can really help sell a system to someone who's picking it up for the first time. And finally, number 3 in what I'd look for, I look for mechanics that place the emphasis heavily on the story. Don't get me wrong, rolling dice is a lot of fun, but that's not the mainstay of what the game's about for me. I'm gathering some people around, or I'm joining a group of people who've been gathered if I'm playing, because we want to tell an interesting and exciting story about the exploits of our characters, the world they're involved in, and all the chaos that afflicts the life of your typical adventuring party. So I look for game mechanics that really place that at the forefront, place it in the spotlight, if you will. I also like to see mechanics that allow players to get involved with that narration, sort of guiding and helping to shape the stories as well as a GM. So I've never been a particular fan of that whole idea of like the GM sitting on high like some stern and immovable deity and just handing down these crumbs of plot to grateful players who eagerly grasp at them and then scurry about performing the plot. Now, if I'm sitting down with a group of people to play a game, especially a more long-running campaign game, then it's because I think those people are good players, I think they have interesting stories to tell, and I think they're creative individuals. And I think it would be a shame not to allow them to use their own creativity in a game to help shape the world. And as I've said a number of times in videos and blog posts, I think inspiration and games are like a big cauldron or a melting pot, if you will. The more good stuff you put into that cauldron, the more surprising concoctions and good things you are going to get out of it. Yeah, sure, like with every recipe, you might get the occasional things that don't work and you maybe discard and think, oh, I won't do that again. But that's all part of the learning process. Basically, more good in, more good out. It's as simple as that. And the players are an excellent resource for you as a GM. Why the hell would you not use them? So there we go. Those are 3 things that I look for in a system that really makes me sit up and take notice, really grabs me and makes me want to run it. What are your 3 things? Either put a comment in the comments box down below, or I'd love to see some video responses going up for this, and you can obviously post the links to your videos in the description down below. I hope if you've enjoyed this video, you'll consider clicking on the red dice just there to subscribe to our channel. You can find us on all the normal social media there. And until I see you next time, take care. I look forward to reading your comments and hopefully seeing a few video responses. Take care.